There is a new proposal out there right now that would put the CFTC in charge of essentially overseeing huge parts of the cryptocurrency world, including exchanges. In this video, I'm going to talk about the proposal that was just put out that is now getting industry-wide support, and Ripple had comments about it. So I'm going to tell you what Susan Friedman of Ripple just said, along with some of the other comments from industry leaders. This is not good news if you're the SEC. You do not want people putting their support behind the CFTC because guys like Goldman, Gary Gensler wants to be in charge of it and essentially be the overlord of the cryptocurrency world. So I'm going to tell you what this proposal says and what kind of support it's now being granted both by industry leaders, Republicans, and Democrats. And in case you've been under a rock the last 2 days, well, the market really tanked. And then it rebounded a little bit. But in this video, I'm going to tell you about what some of the mainstream media, specifically on Fox Business, what they say may have caused this catastrophic market crash. And if you're watching this video, well, it could be your fault. Also, I want to give a quick update on the UST losing its peg to the US dollar. But Do Kwon, the creator of UST, has a plan to fix it. According to some measurements yesterday, there was over $1 billion worth of cryptocurrencies liquidated. So we're going to talk about some of that in this video. Hey everyone, my name is Randy. Welcome back to the Late Night Grind. Right now on this channel, we're covering the Ripple versus the SEC case, but I'm also covering cryptocurrency news, investment markets, and personal finance. So if any or all these topics interest you, make sure you hit that subscribe button and join the Late Night Grind community. Also, if you do three things, it would really help out. Smash the thumbs up button, watch this video all the way to the end, and check out my Patreon link in the description below. If you do that, I'd greatly appreciate it. So yeah, $1 billion liquidated from the cryptocurrency world. I've been doing some high leverage trading and a lot of different trading experiments over the past couple of months, and the one thing I've learned is that, yes, you can get liquidated by playing with high leverage. However, there are many things you can do to control that and not get liquidated. Like, number one, use a stop loss. The fact that there's $1 billion liquidated in the market shows how much people are not actually paying attention, either that or they're treating it basically like a casino, and it's just fun money to them and they don't care if they lose it, which is mind-boggling to me. And in my notes, I have that a big number like that, a big, huge number of liquidations that happen is typically followed by a green day. Well, today is very green in the most markets, so pretty much happening according to plan. Also, UST Terra Luna, their stablecoin lost their peg yesterday, went down to 60 cents. It's supposed to be worth $1. Do Kwon has a plan in place and he says it's going to take some time to regain the peg to the $1. But we're going to see if he actually comes through, because this is one of the things that the US Congress is looking at in order to have an argument for controlling and having oversight over stablecoins. This is what's going to put it on the map, thanks to Do Kwon. Now, I don't watch a whole lot of television news because, well, it's worthless and pointless and because it's full of propaganda and all kinds of untruths. But I do see some clips from time to time. This one was posted on Twitter. This one from Fox Business. And typically Fox Business doesn't say anything too stupid. In fact, there's a couple of their reporters there that are covering the Ripple versus the SEC case, and they're doing a pretty good job of it and bringing some media attention to it. But this one caught my attention. In fact, it went viral because one of the hosts of a Fox Business commentary show was talking about why the markets were tanking. They were talking about meme stocks, AMC, GameStop. If you remember last year, all the short squeezes that went crazy, it caused billions of dollars worth of losses for hedge funds. Well, this commenter, well, she basically just said, it's all of the amateur traders and all of the newbie traders that really have no idea what they're doing in the market, and that's what caused market crashes like this. Really? Are you serious? So the people that are throwing around maybe a couple hundred, maybe a couple of thousand, maybe even $10,000, the fact that they don't know what they're doing is responsible for a market crash like this, it almost sounds like you're working for the SEC, because that's something that they would say. In order to gain more control and put things like accredited investor in front of everything, so that just because you have less money, you all of a sudden don't know what you're doing. It's absolutely ridiculous. Fox Business, you need to be much more responsible for that. Either that, or don't take payments from the SEC to say stuff like that. All right, now I want to get to somewhat of some good news, considering what's going on today. And that is the Republican Agricultural Committee's proposal, which is actually an old proposal, but they rehashed it, that would put the CFTC in control of most of the cryptocurrency world. The SEC does not want to hear it. They don't want anybody controlling it but them. But this would be good news. And in fact, industry insiders, industry supporters, and industry leaders are by and large now supporting this proposal. Now, here's what's the good news about this proposal. This is for the United States legislation, but it's being supported by both Republicans and Democrats. It's a bipartisan bill that looks like it's something that would be absolutely workable. So here's some of the comments that were mentioned by some industry leaders, including one of the executives of Ripple. So this bill is actually being co-sponsored by Glenn Thompson, who is a Republican, Tom Emmer, who is a Republican, Ro Khanna, who is a progressive Democrat, and Darren Soto, who is also a Democrat. And there's been some very positive, essentially, affirmations about what this proposal could do. In fact, I wanted to read some of them. So Kristen Smith, who's the executive director of the Blockchain Association, which is basically a crypto lobbying association in Washington, she says, "We're proud to support the reintroduction of the Digital Commodity Exchange Act. There's a growing consensus in Washington that federal oversight of digital asset spot markets is needed, and we believe that the DCEA sets forward an intelligent framework to ensure these markets are safe and secure. Ranking Member Thompson and his staff have been very forward-thinking on these issues, and we look forward to continue to work with them as the bill advances through the legislative process." Now, you know, when cryptocurrency industry leaders are commenting positive things like this, that is probably not what the SEC wants, and it probably is what the cryptocurrency world wants. Now I'm going to tell you what Susan Friedman, who is the head of public policy over at Ripple, what she had to say about it. The reintroduction of the DCEA is an essential step forward for regulatory certainty for the crypto ecosystem. Ripple applauds the efforts of Representative Thompson, Khanna, Soto, and Emmer, who are working to ensure U.S. leadership in the emerging technology while protecting more than 40 million Americans who participate in the multi-trillion-dollar crypto economy. Yeah, that's absolutely spot on. This kind of framework would absolutely work to protect not only investors, but actual innovators, entrepreneurs, fintech, the companies that are trusting the United States to essentially to give them a platform to build these companies on and not force them offshore, which is essentially what the SEC is doing with their selective enforcement action. If you watch this channel talk about the SEC versus Ripple and the SEC versus a bunch of other things, well, it's not exactly what they have in mind. And finally, I want to tell you what Sam Bankman-Fried, who is the CEO of FTX Exchange, had to say. FTX appreciates any and all efforts to bring a sensible oversight to the trading of digital assets, which this bill reflects. Millions of American consumers want access to these products, and they deserve the market safeguards that this legislation would provide. So this is big news for the crypto world. It's good news for the crypto world. And in fact, it's great for XRP. Now, if you're familiar, Brian Quintens, who used to be the commissioner of the CFTC a few years ago, he actually already labeled XRP a non-security commodity digital asset. So it would not be regulated as a security. And in fact, most of the cryptocurrency world would not be regulated as a security if the CFTC would get oversight. Nonetheless, they're still looking to put some guardrails on it, which makes sense, and actually protect investors, not just pretend they are, while essentially earning hundreds of millions of dollars from blockchain companies and forcing them offshore. Yes, I'm talking about the SEC. Also, if you look in the description below, I'm going to provide my Twitter profile. You can go and follow me there because I talk a lot about all these different topics on my Twitter. I retweet a lot of these stories and comment on them. So if you want to follow me there, you can go ahead and do so. So thanks for watching all the way to the end, for smashing that thumbs up button, and as always, I'll see you guys on the next video.